Have you checked the children? Your little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
I'm Robert Duell.
And we are here to do a series of reviews for you guys. Very accurately a series, because we are here to tackle the Howling, you guys. And part of the reason why is because we have a particular patron by the name of Seth T. Miller. He has been a patron for a little while now and has requested 3 of the different Howling movies. And I think I know why he chose these 3. It's because these are the 3 that he chose are kind of the only 3 tolerable Howling movies, in my opinion. So we are going to talk about today, anyway. We're going to talk about the 7 Howling movies we had access to. There's one that we didn't quite get access to, Part 7, New Moon Rising. We're trying to figure out how to get to that because it's not available on DVD, and I don't have a VHS player anymore, or a TV that I could even... I do have a VHS player, I don't have a TV I can connect it to, because all the TVs don't have those connections anymore. But nonetheless, actually, you know what? I think I do have a way. I have my old monitor that I could use. But nonetheless, we still have to figure that out. But we are here to start with the original, The Howling, starring Dee Wallace. So we're going to get into this, and we're going to do it like we normally do our reviews, except, of course, we're doing it via Skype because of the quarantine, you guys. So I hope you understand that there might be a bit of a audio difference from our usual audio, but hopefully you can bear with it, and we're going to get into this thing. So our overall thoughts. Robert, why don't you go first with your overall thoughts on this one?
Well, obviously, this is the best out of the series. So, no, I love this movie. I remember watching this when I was a kid, and it scared the crap out of me. Mm-hmm. And it's like, when I was watching, it's like, okay, it's a little goofy, but I can see why I was scared and everything. But no, this is definitely the best. I'll always rewatch this whenever I get a chance.
Yeah, and it had been a long time since I'd seen these movies, and including this one. And I always knew that the first one was a good movie, but I didn't really remember how good it was until my rewatch. When I rewatched it, I was like, this is a super solid story, like a werewolf story. It's not your typical werewolf story. It's not what became the typical werewolf story, and this is just a really interesting approach with a really, really strong lead actress and a cult flavor to a werewolf story. And it's just done so well from the story writing standpoint, from the acting standpoint, and of course from the effects standpoint, which the effects in part 1 are better than the effects in all the rest of the movies, probably combined, really.
Yep.
Yeah, it's...
No, I will definitely agree with you on that one. But also, too, it's like, once we delve into, like, the special effects stuff, it's like there's a reason why those makeup effects were as great as what they were.
Yeah, so we'll get into that, but starting off, I mean, obviously we both love this movie, and story-wise, I kept hammering on the story there at the beginning because I just thought it was tremendous. So it starts off with an investigative reporter, essentially a blonde Lois Lane, who is basically offering herself up as bait in order to try and capture a serial killer, in order to try and help the cops capture a serial killer, basically. And when she does, she's wearing a wire, and she goes into this gross club and is trying to meet this guy. He's expecting her. He doesn't necessarily know that she's a big reporter, and basically when she gets there, he transforms in front of her, although we don't necessarily see that, but we hear his voice start to change off camera, and then she freaks out, and she gets attacked, but the cops get there in time to shoot dead her attacker. And so she is the center of attention because, she's a newscaster that just had this horrific experience, and she's going to do a tell-all about it, but when she goes on camera to do it, she freezes up. And so she goes to see a doctor about it, and he suggests that she go visit what was it called? Not a coven, but like a little...
No, It was basically
It's a retreat.
Yeah.
So he recommends this little retreat that he's a part of, where it's a group of people that are just meant to go there and to relax. It's like it's not quite a spa, but it's meant to be an outdoorsy kind of just relaxing retreat. And so she goes, and quickly she finds out that there's something really odd about this place. She takes her husband, and there's this really sultry member of the group, and she starts to come on to the husband pretty hard, and he starts to succumb to it throughout the movie. And meanwhile, Dee Wallace's character is hearing weird howls at night and having weird dreams and things like that, and it turns out she's starting to get hounded by werewolves. And not only that, but the one who actually was the guy at the beginning, who, while he was shot, he was not dead because he was shot with regular police firearms, not silver bullets. So he recovers and goes to the retreat still obsessed with Dee Wallace's character. And it's how the rest of the movie plays out. She's trying to escape, and it turns out that everyone at this retreat is a werewolf. And it is just such an awesomely crafted story that, again, I had completely forgotten about what the actual story of the movie was because it had been so long. And it's just a really, really strong backbone for a werewolf story. I mean, you get a little bit of them in an urban setting, which is just abnormal, and then you get the wildlife. I don't know. The story was just fantastic for me. What about for you?
Oh no, I definitely agree. And even like the small supporting characters and everything were really solid.
Mm-hmm.
Say for like the seductress's brother, like he was a creep, man, but he was even still a small minor role, but you remembered him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So I mean it's a good segue into the acting, but yeah, go ahead, continue and go on.
Yeah, well, no, going back to like what you were saying, like with how like her mental breakdown and everything like that. It was really nice, like especially with the acting and the writing. You kind of saw her. She wasn't sure if she was actually going mad or actually hearing these things because everyone was telling her she was going crazy. Mm-hmm. So that I thought was really nice, and actually makes me want to read the book and the series even more. Yeah, because I want to see what they changed and everything like that.
Yeah, I'd be interested as well, although I don't really have time to add another novel to the list, but nonetheless, it is.
I'm trying to find it on an audiobook. I'm going to be lazy.
Oh, there you go. I forgot that that's an option nowadays.
Yeah.
So continue with the acting, though. What did you think about everyone else's acting? The doctor, the other characters and stuff.
Yeah, because we in this movie we definitely did have a pretty solid roster of cast and everything. Trying to I know the doctor from somewhere and everything. I just can't think of whatever other things he's been in. Mm-hmm. But he was great. He was convincing on basically being that almost supporting neutral character, but you can definitely tell he had some things hidden in the background.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, Dee Wallace was phenomenal. Her husband was really good too. The seductress, like you said, was good. But I actually enjoyed, like you said, some of the smaller characters too, like the kind of crazy old man guy that's too drunk and is comes up to her at first, is like, was almost spilled the beans and stuff. I thought that was a great character.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
No, you're good. So yeah, what about the the cinematography and all that is pretty standard. I mean, it's nothing super right home about it, but it is good that they don't shy away from the wolf, like they do in all the other movies.
Yeah, and that's one of my biggest problems. And when they finally do ever show the wolves, it's just like, oh god, this looks atrocious.
Mm-hmm. In the later movies, you mean? Yeah.
In the later movies, yes, most definitely. But no, and real quick, well, now that we're talking about the werewolf, I would say when we jump into the effects and everything.
Yeah.
So with that being said, the reason this movie is regarded as one of the top best werewolf movies and everything is because of the makeup, and that's because of Rick Baker. Mm-hmm. Rick Baker was working on this film before he was contacted by John Landis and actually got pulled over for American Werewolf in London. Mm-hmm. That's why those two movies have such similar transformation scenes.
Mm-hmm. Well, not only similar, but I mean, just two of the best, quite frankly. No, I mean, this...
Yeah, they are regarded as the best werewolf movies made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I like well. See, it's been a while since I've watched London. I actually really liked American Werewolf in Paris growing up. So.
Werewolf in Paris was good, but my issue with that was they were all CG.
Yeah, but it didn't bother me at the time because I was still young enough where it didn't.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you.
So. Sorry, yeah. When we talk at the same time, my mic is gonna overthrow yours, so you'll have to repeat yourself a little bit. Go ahead. What did you just say?
Oh no, I was just saying that Werewolf in London is by far the best. Personally,
Over the Howling, you think?
Oh hell yes.
Okay, I need to rewatch it. Yeah, it's been a while since I've watched that one too. So who knows? Maybe Seth will request that next. But so yeah, I actually love the werewolf stuff in this too. I mean, it's just so good. They really focus on, the atmosphere of it as well, with the voice slowly deepening as everything is changing. And then it's one of the most time-consuming transformations put to film as well. Like, they really revel in it. And the transformation itself probably takes almost 5 minutes. And it's it's really cool because of it, because it all looks that good and it's all practically done. Like, it is just phenomenally handled, and the wolf is intimidating, and it's just really, really cool. It's so much better. Actually, the only one in the series that kind of came close as far as the wolf goes, not transformation-wise, because nothing came close, but the Howling Reborn, much later on, the wolf I actually thought that wolf looked cool, the wolf suit, because it's a lot closer to like dog soldiers and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was thinking more like what is it, Underworld, like Evolution or whatever.
Yeah, a little bit. Which I like those movies too.
Yeah, I will give you that. Like, I wasn't terribly disappointed with that makeup on Reborn, but yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that pretty much covers it, you guys. There's not a whole lot else to say about this, other than it's a classic werewolf movie for an absolute reason. And if you haven't watched it before somehow, definitely make time to do so. And if you haven't watched it recently, I recommend doing so and revisiting it, because man, it really holds up. I'm not sure if there's been any special editions released recently or not. Go ahead.
I just want to say, Dee Wallace's legs in those shorts when she was playing tennis. Whew!
Well, we've had Dee on the channel. Fuego interviewed her at one of the Man Monster conventions, and she's a really, really sweet lady, but she was really funny, actually. I don't know if I've ever told this story on the show before, but when we talked to her, when we asked her to do an interview, she said, yes, but you'll need an extra light because, I'm older and we need extra light and stuff like that. And we were just like, haha, okay. And we got everything set up, and we were like, so, and she's just like, oh, no, I wasn't kidding. You do need an extra light if we're going to do this. And so I was like, oh shit. Okay. So I ran back to the table and I went and got my little, portable light with like 8 AA's in it that gets really bright, and threw it on there. She's like, okay, much better. And so it was really, really Hollywood actress kind of situation, but it was so great. Like, it was so old Hollywood. I loved it.
That's awesome. I like that.
But yeah, so I think that's going to do it. Do you have any final things to say about The Howling?
Other than that, if you haven't watched it, go watch it, because it's definitely one of the top werewolf movies that you should at least have in your viewing. Yeah, indeed. So, if you're gonna watch any of the werewolf movie, Howling movie, I should say, watch this one.
Yeah, don't bother with any of the rest if you can only choose one. Gun to your head or anything, or even just hey, what should we watch? Just choose one. Don't choose any of the others, unless you're up for some really bad like drinkifying movies. You got to have a bunch of alcohol for the rest of these. So we're about to get into those. For now, thank you again to Seth T. Miller for recommending this or requesting this through our Patreon. If you guys want to become a patron, the link is in the description box down below, and you can request movies like this for us to review as well. And we're going to be coming up on the next few of them that he did not request, and then when we get around to 5, we'll be back around to his requests again. So until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
I've been Robert Duell.
And thanks again, you guys, and remember, stay scared.
Stay scared.